So, what I want to do is I want to bring up the work of the actress that's the subject of this documentary. The footage is very fuzzy. It's like from the late '80s and '90s. Uh, her name was Vanessa Marquez, and she was a prolific TV and did some film. You might recognize her from Stand and Deliver as the mousy educated student. We're gonna open this up. This is an old YouTube. This is like various scenes from her work. There she is in the lower right. Vanessa Marquez, early years. Let's check out some of her work.
Finished?
No, I'm sorry. I cannot finish the test.
What's wrong?
I have an appointment at USC. It's related to my scholarship.
Can't that wait?
No, I can't.
Okay. Did you fill out your ID card in the back?
Yes.
That's a very young Andy Garcia, by the way.
Yeah.
Stand Deliver.
Who's that guy, C-Spine? You gotta learn how to write faster.
Gotta learn to talk faster. Who is this?
That guy in 19, the car wreck.
I can't see C7. Pull down on his arms.
Ray Mantegna.
I'm not an octopus.
You were the one who helped get the drug dealers out of your school.
You know, Uncle Mike, you always made things sound so simple.
Yeah, well, sometimes they
Stephen
are.
Bauer.
They never are.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was unconscious, I had this dream. It was strange because it was so real. It's with me now as if I'd really lived it.
What was it about?
You and I, we were walking down this road, but there were no edges on it. Like if you walked off this road, you'd fall into space. So we had to be careful. And we were holding hands, and then we stopped. And you looked at me and you said, all that's good and all that's bad lies on this road. And our salvation is how we walk along it.
I said that.
Number 1, down to the inn on the right. Last door on the right.
His name, sir. Oh, what is your address?
What is that?
Mr. Wilson? He looked and he looked. He could see nothing there but a small speck of dust blowing past through the air.
Hey, Rachel. What are you reading?
A book. Horton Hears a Who.
Oh, I remembered that one.
So prolific, just from the credits alone, prolific actress. I had the pleasure of seeing her perform live several times in LA theater. She was a pioneer in the Latino theater company, and I'm sure you guys recognize her. Unfortunately, she is no longer with us, and suffered a very upsetting passing.
No, no.
So that's what this documentary is about: is how she passed. She became a recluse. She had some health issues. And the authorities were called for a wellness check, and it didn't end well. Horrific ending. The worst thing you can think of. And I want to thank Kenneth Castillo for sending me this. It's called 90 Minutes Later. And you can watch this on Amazon. We are going to review it. And we're going to, pay honor to her and all that. I can't review it because, I'm just a little too close to it. This is very, very upsetting. So I'm going to play a little bit of the trailer. Trailer's pretty heavy, but this needs to get out there. Fletcher,
This is Sergeant Morales. I work for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. I got your number from the fire department over here at South Pasadena. And they had told me that you had called for Vanessa Marquez. And then you called them and you told them that you had a friend who lives in South Pasadena.
He needed help. Vanessa! South Pasadena Police Department, come to the door!
10-4, shots fired, shots fired.
She's down, hold on.
Is she down?
She's down.
Is she down?
She's down!
We've all been very close since the film, and we see each other all the time, so this is our first family member that we've lost.
We've been bonded to each other. These are like my crazy siblings.
I think we were all close. We would intertwine in each other's lives.
We have come to a place, in Hollywood where there is more inclusion, where there is more representation, but it was people like Vanessa who opened that door.
Justice for Vanessa Marquez begins today.
They went in to help her, and they carried her out in a stretcher.
What we did as
Okay, so it's called 90 Minutes Later, and this is the cast of Stand and Deliver. And just from the little that I saw, and the fact that this gentleman had this weapon out pointed at her, I've never seen this before up until this morning. I want, I'm a little speechless. Okay. So she was a wonderful talent. She was a wonderful, classy lady. And I fell out of the circles a long time ago. Right? So I didn't keep up with everyone. This is a tiny woman, very, very sweet, very talented, tiny woman. Apparently she had she started a lot of health and mental problems. Like I said, she was recluse, etc., etc. They did a wellness check. It ended up in the most horrible way. From the reports, and I'm sure the documentary is gonna go into it. She was in her bed. She was shaking. She was, not in a right place. The authorities didn't. I guess they didn't handle it correctly. They saw that she pulled out what looked like to be a BB gun, and the most unfortunate thing happened. So I'm not too educated on all the particulars, Fletcher, of this, right? I don't want to
right, speculate and anything.
But what I do know is that she's no longer with us. There was a lawsuit. And I also do know that the South Pasadena police that were called in, maybe they weren't fully trained to deal with mental calls. Mental, yeah. So we're gonna this trailer, this documentary's out. We'll have the video. We'll have the link in the video box description, and we are going to review this. But the reason why I'm bringing this up, Vanessa Marquez broke ground in Hollywood in the late 80s and the 90s with all this work she did. I played it for you guys, ER, etc., etc. And I remember when this happened. This happened just a few years ago, like right at the beginning of COVID, I think.
Right.
But this is very sad. This is very sad, man.
Yeah.
And, she was, so we will review it. I keep repeating myself, Fletcher.
It's hard.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, because I saw that they had an ofrenda by her house. I share that with you. And for you guys don't know, an ofrenda is basically an offering. We do that for the people who are deceased, and this was just recently outside her home in Pasadena. We do know that there needs to be a whole lot more training for officers involved with anybody that has a mental health issue. But we do those are things that we can only help if a revamping of a lot of systems. But what we can do also is make sure that we check up on our family members that have sometimes lost track of the real world, and just give them an anchor. And just being there for somebody like this. I think if somebody was there hopefully it would not have ended as tragic. But if you know somebody or if you feeling like you need some help, there's hotlines out there that please reach out. You know it's never good to leave with unfinished business in the world, as we say. Right.
Very well said. Rest in peace, Vanessa Marquez. Thank you to Kenneth Castillo and Daniel Villarreal. Made this documentary. It'll be put up. You guys can see it. It's like a couple bucks to pay for it to see it. We will review it. And yeah, we're sorry to leave you on that sadder note, but listen, sometimes it's got to be done, brother.